The more skills and preferences you add, the faster Indeed can bring the right job to you.
Layla just turned 3 on the 13th, and she asks for her mother daily. She didn't come to the birthday party. Nana, where's Gabby?
I found this video. I see what this young is. What this young is? TikTok. Something about TikTok. TikTok stop found. He posted about abuse was killed by her ex. It's about that. Let me see what's up.
Gabby, where's my mommy? I keep telling her the same thing.
Tonight, a Macon family processing new information in the case of their daughter's disappearance. Gabriella Dixon went missing nearly 3 weeks ago, and her mom says she hasn't slept since.
I'm sorry, I just need 1 minute to make sure I look good. Do you think I look good, Mr. Armstrong?
October 30th, 2023, 18-year-old Gabriella Dixon vanished in Macon, Georgia. That morning, she was supposed to drop her kids off with family. She never made it back. Just like that, a young mother of 2 was gone, and the people closest to her became the center of suspicion. Before we get too deep, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you find value in these discussions. Gabriella, known as Gabby, was only 18 but already raising 2 young children. She lived in Macon, Georgia, a city full of history and community pride, but her life wasn't easy. She was tied to Reginald Harris, the father of her children. Their relationship was described as on again, off again, and full of turmoil. Gabby shared her struggles publicly. By the time she had her first child, Gabby said everyone loved him, trusted him, and believed he was a good young man. But her private reality was different. She described feeling trapped because there was no proof and that nobody believed her when she spoke up. She admitted that she didn't want to hurt the kids' emotions by making them grow up without a 2-parent household. That showed the weight she carried, choosing between her safety and her children having a father in their lives. Even after the worst moments, Gabby said he would show up with gifts, flowers, balloons, trying to smooth things over. But in her posts, you could see her losing hope. One night, she said they had an altercation, and she remembered neighbors finally opening their doors to help her call for police. Help that never came. That night, she also called her mom. Instead of comfort, she felt brushed aside. Gabby said her mom seemed annoyed for being woken up at 4 a.m. She wrote that her little sister didn't show concern either. That moment stuck with her. In early September 2023, just weeks before her disappearance, the situation had escalated. On September 3rd, Reginald allegedly followed Gabby's car and confronted her and the man she was with while they were in their vehicle. After that, he accused her of disrespecting him by allowing another man around her. Following this incident, Gabby went to authorities. She explained what happened and reported receiving a threatening text from Reginald that read, "Don't be surprised when I knock on the door." The threat was clear, but it was just the beginning of an even more dangerous escalation. 3 weeks later, on September 23rd, Reginald allegedly attacked Gabby in their apartment. According to the police report, he threatened her. When deputies responded to this incident, they could see the physical evidence that made the responding officers concerned. They documented it and advised her to seek a protective order against Reginald, recognizing how serious the situation was. But despite their recommendation, no court documents show that a restraining order was ever filed. When October 30th came, Reginald was supposed to drop Gabby off at her father's house, but by the next day, her family couldn't reach her.
It became real to me, like, okay, this is not it. She hasn't called me, she hasn't said anything.
Her mom, Gabriella Searcy, said Reginald was acting very suspicious. That was one of the first alarms. Then came an even clearer detail. The family officially reported her missing on October 31st. When questioned about Gabby's whereabouts, Reginald claimed she was at work. But Gabby's mother knew this couldn't be true because her laptop, essential for her job, was still at home. His story didn't add up, and his behavior was becoming increasingly suspicious. On November 1st, 2023, Bibb County authorities officially entered Gabriella Dixon into the missing persons system.
The Bibb County Sheriff's Office needs your help tonight finding a missing teenager. Deputies say 18-year-old Gabriella Dixon was last seen in the 1900 block of Pine Hill Drive on Monday.
Her family had already been raising alarms, telling anyone who would listen that something was terribly wrong. What makes this case so painful is that the signs didn't start in November. They had been stacking up for months, and people close to her knew she was in danger. On November 2nd, 2023, her mother went online begging for help to find her daughter. By November 7th, exactly 1 week after Gabby's disappearance,
Do this to raise your credit score fast? Have you seen this guy before? The guy that says,
paying your bills on time raises your credit score, right? Wrong.
well, you might want to listen to this. If you're one of
Reginald Harris was arrested. Initially, the charges weren't directly related to her disappearance, but rather on unrelated family charges. The next day, he made his first court appearance before the judge in Bibb Superior Court. He faced 5 counts of assault, 1 count of battery, and 1 count of threats, all stemming from prior incidents involving Gabby. A few days after Reginald's arrest, authorities made another significant arrest. Jatarvius D'Angelo Price was detained in connection with Gabby's case. Price was 19 years old and lived in Juliet, Georgia. He was charged with making false statements and tampering with evidence, but the extent of his involvement remained unclear at that time. His arrest raised questions about what role he played and whether there were more people involved in Gabby's disappearance. Her mother's posts became a timeline of desperation and hope, fighting against growing fear. On January 29, 2024, she posted, "Where's Gabriella Dixon? Where's my child?" The pain was evident in every word. Her name is Gabriella Dixon, and I refuse to let anyone forget her. She does not deserve this. Yes, I'm speaking it into existence. I will see my daughter again. I can't accept defeat. I'm trusting God for a miracle, a real, modern-day miracle. Restoration. That final conversation between mother and daughter became haunting. Gabby's last words to her mom were asking her to watch the kids a little longer because she had errands to run. Her mother later admitted she would have said no if she had known Gabby was going to be with Reginald Harris. The regret in those words was unmistakable. She wrote, 242 days since I've seen my child. 240 days since she officially went missing. Do you all understand what it's like to wake up every morning and realize that a nightmare is actually real life? These babies deserve to know where their mother is. I deserve to know. I never thought that Sunday night would be the last time I'd see my baby, or Monday evening would be the last time I heard her voice. Ma, watch the kids a little longer. I have some errands to run. She knew that I would have said no if I had known she was with Reginald Harris. Please help me find my child.
I have no idea what's going on. So as you can see, it's just us searching. There's no help from the police department, with this search.
That's how her family lived for months, in anguish, searching, organizing, begging for answers. Her mom even raised the reward from $5,000 to $10,000 for anyone with information. And while her mother posted online, investigators were working in the background, circling closer to Reginald Harris and 19-year-old Jatarvius D'Angelo Price. The family's frustration grew as time passed. Gabby's mother organized search parties with friends and family members. They scoured wooded areas, highways, and any location that might hold clues.
Finding a young mother, Gabriella Dixon, missing nearly 3 weeks.
Layla just turned 3 on the 13th, and she asks for her mother daily. She didn't come to the birthday party. Nana, where's Gabby? Where's my mommy? I keep telling her the same thing.
Dixon's mother, Gabriella Cersei, is running short on answers to those questions. She wants answers herself. Cersei feels the sheriff's office is too focused on preserving evidence and tracking down suspects, and not enough on finding her daughter.
We were silently advised to just stop and be still, but I'm a mother. That's my child. I carried her for 9 months. I can't be silent. I can't be still.
So she's asking people to help her search and bring Gabby home to her children.
She has children, and I just refuse. Until I see her for myself, I just refuse to believe that she's gone. I mean, that is just me. I guess as a mother in me, I have faith.
Her stepfather expressed frustration,
Right.
saying they felt like they were solving the case themselves. The case took a major turn with 2 important indictments. The first indictment charged both Reginald Harris and Jatarvis Price with concealing physical evidence connected to Gabby's disappearance. This suggested an organized effort to cover up crucial evidence. The second indictment brought additional charges against Reginald for the September incident, where he allegedly fired at a car carrying Gabby and another man. As the investigation continued, more details emerged about the evidence authorities had gathered. There were reports of a neighbor who allegedly saw someone disposing of items by a dumpster on the night of Gabby's disappearance. The witness described seeing a person getting rid of some materials and noticed someone lying across the back seat of a car.
Because my number is posted all over Facebook because I was looking for help because they weren't doing anything. Someone called, one of the neighbors called my telephone, and she stated Monday night she saw somebody, a guy, and I can't give a description, a guy getting rid of items by a dumpster. Also, the guy had a car, and they saw somebody laying across the back seat, and it looked like they were just wrapped up in a blanket. She said it initially looked like a body to her, but she didn't know. She said that she was older, and she stays up at night, so she didn't want to make too much of it because people lay down in the back seat all the time and go to sleep. But then the very next day, when she saw the police cleaning out the dumpster and bringing stuff from that complex, she said she knew she was right when she said she saw a body. As far as where would they take her, I have no idea.
Gabby's mother mentioned getting text messages from Reginald while he was in custody. In one message, he allegedly told her, "Let me see my children and I'll tell you everything you need to know." To her, this sounded like he was ready to confess and reveal what happened to Gabby. There were also reports of text messages Reginald had allegedly sent to his current girlfriend requesting for certain supplies. This information came to light during the family's own investigation efforts, as they tried to piece together what had happened to Gabby. Months passed, with the family continuing their search efforts and public appeals. They organized vigils.
If your child has used Roblox, you might be owed significant compensation from a lawsuit currently underway. Find out if you qualify.
Distributed flyers, and used social media to keep Gabby's case in the public eye. The community in Macon rallied around the family, but the lack of concrete answers was taking its toll on everyone involved. Throughout this period, Gabby's social media posts continued to resurface and be shared, serving as a stark reminder of the warning signs that had been present for years. Her detailed accounts of what was happening painted a clear picture of someone who had been crying out for help but hadn't received the intervention she needed. On her social media, Gabby detailed what life was like with Reginald. She wrote about being isolated and hurt. She admitted it started when she was just 16. She said, the first time, he apologized and said he snapped. It would never happen again. Her posts read like a diary, a window into a teenager trying to hold on while being broken down. She explained how he was loved by her family, made himself look good in front of everyone, and turned them against her. Gabby broke down Reginald's tactics in detail. She wrote, "He knew that I was the black sheep of the family, so he listened to my problems and always offered for me to come run away to his house." She posted, "He knew I was shy and more introverted, so he encouraged me not to have friends, and that we would be each other's friend. He knew I always had a hard time feeling pretty, so at first, he made me feel more beautiful than anyone else ever did in my life. Then, he made sure to point out my biggest insecurities. Then he would never compliment me, so I stopped feeling confident and making an effort. He knew to shower me with gifts because I came from a family that only had enough to make sure we had what we needed. He knew that I didn't experience much, so he made sure to introduce me to things so I can always have that first-time moment with him. He knew to show just enough interest in me, but not too much, to keep me chasing him, because he knew I craved attention." She painted a picture of someone who studied her weaknesses and used them against her. On July 24, 2024, construction crews working off Bowdoin Road in Monroe County came across an important discovery that was made near Highway 87 and Bowdoin Road, in a wooded area where the construction crew was working. Investigators said they believed it was Gabriella Dixon. The discovery confirmed what her mother had feared, but still prayed against for over a year.
The Monroe County Sheriff's Office says they found human remains in the woods this afternoon off Highway 87 and Bedouin Road. They say construction workers found the remains and notified them. The Bibb County Sheriff's Office was also called to the scene.
When Gabby's mother was informed, she expressed her belief that it was possibly her daughter. She mentioned that the red hair color and clothing found matched Gabby's description, making her 99% sure it was indeed her daughter. This brought a heartbreaking realization to the family, who had been living with uncertainty for nearly a year.
In the past hour, our Camila Williams spoke to Gabriella Cersei, Gabby's mom.
She says the Bibb County Sheriff's Office told her they're 99% certain the remains are Gabby's. Cersei says they believe the red hair and jacket found with the remains matched Gabby's. They told her they saw evidence of a gunshot wound to the head. They've sent the remains to the GBI crime lab for a positive identification.
The authorities immediately started working on the case for official identification. Meanwhile, authorities wasted no time. That same afternoon, Jatarvius D'Angelo Price was arrested again. This time, not for making false statements, but on a conspiracy to commit harm to someone. He was living just about a mile away from where that discovery was made. That detail stunned people. It raised questions. Did he know more all along? Was he connected to Reginald, or was he just trying to cover for him? Reginald Harris, already behind bars, now faced new warrants, this time with a direct involvement in her case. Reginald wasn't just the father of her 2 children. He was the last person seen with her before she disappeared. The warrant indicated that authorities had gathered enough evidence to pursue Reginald as a key figure in her case, marking a significant step forward in the investigation. In July 2024, both Reginald and Jatarvius were denied bond. That told the community that prosecutors were treating this case with the weight it deserved. The denial of bond suggested that the court viewed both men as flight risks or dangers to the community. The location where the discovery regarding her case was found became significant for several reasons. It was in Monroe County, not Bibb County, where Gabby lived and was reported missing. Longtime residents of Bowdoin Road expressed shock at the discovery, stating that nothing like this had ever happened in their quiet community. The discovery brought unwanted attention to the rural area and left residents unsettled. The arrests, however, brought some sense of progress, but also raised new questions that required answers as the case moved forward. Particularly disturbing to most people was how an 18-year-old had 2 kids and also didn't live with her parents. They believed if the case was different, this tragedy would have been prevented. As the legal proceedings began, more details emerged about the evidence authorities had gathered. The concealment of the evidence, the involvement between Reginald and Jatarvius in allegedly tampering with evidence, the emotional toll on the family was visible during these proceedings. They had waited nearly a year for this moment, but it came with the devastating confirmation that Gabby was gone. The case against both men would rely heavily on physical evidence, witness testimony, and the digital footprint that Gabby had left behind in her social media posts. Her own words describing the escalating threats would likely play a crucial role in establishing the prosecution's case.
The legal proceedings would continue to unfold, but the loss to the family can't be undone.
For a lot of patient advocacy groups and others who are focused on affordability issues and access issues, IP and patent protection issues might seem abstract or even trivial to them. So can you unpack the role of IP and patents and why they're really critical to both innovation and equitable access to care?
Yeah.
2 young children lost their mother, a family lost a daughter and sister, and a community was forced to reckon with how they had failed one of their most vulnerable members. Gabby's stepfather, Daryl Cersei, expressed his anguish about not being able to provide answers to Gabby's 2 young daughters, who constantly asked for their mother. Their mother's words will someday serve as proof of her love and her struggle to do better for them. Gabby wrote, "My relationship with my mom wasn't great because I always ran away. He encouraged me to argue with her, and as for my siblings, he knew that I didn't have a relationship with them, so he took advantage by further dividing us by forming bonds with them, making me seem like the bad person to get advice on how to deal with me. It even got to the point that he was so close to them, they wouldn't even tell me, their sister, that he would cheat. When it started happening more frequently, I didn't really process it. It felt like a dream, like I was one of those wives in those movies. Afterwards, I would think, this can't be happening to me. I'm only a teenager. Maybe if I keep crying and stop fighting back, he will stop. It didn't help that by now, he had completely isolated me, so I had no one to vent to about this. He was my only friend. Gabby documented his exact words. I didn't leave bruises, so what proof do you have? He would tell me. You are exaggerating. I barely touched you. Nobody is going to believe you. After everything I did for you, I've been the one there for you. If you leave me, you're the one that's going to be without me. The girls need a 2-parent household. Get over it. We got kids together. You're going to ruin my life. I have to be there for them. The lack of family support at that time was devastating for her. She wrote, overall, my whole family is still friendly with him. My family does not care, but I am learning to report him. This situation really did it for me. The nurse was so nice. She talked to me and gave me her number if I ever wanted to talk. She stated that he got her flowers and a balloon after she left the hospital. It was after this hospital visit that Gabby started sharing encounters to tell her story. Gabby's words made it clear. She felt alone and ignored. The flowers Gabby wrote about were delivered. She got flowers for the last time, but not in the way anyone should have to receive them. I hope these stories help you recognize warning signs and encourage you to seek help or offer support before it's too late. I'll see you in the next episode of Crime of Passion. Thank you for watching.
A man can live 100 years and not leave a mark. Gabby left a mark.
And when I felt stupid and dumb, it felt like I wasn't intelligent, she pushed me to do better in school. And because of Gabby, she motivated me to go to college.
You ever met my wife? She's real short in stature, and she is a force to be reckoned with.
She kind of reminded me of a Sour Patch Kid, because you know how they say fresh and sour and sweet. She was very compassionate and loved to help others. And even though God chose to take her away from us at this young age, I'm thankful for God putting us together. I'm thankful for the limited time we were able to have.
I'll see it again. I don't need nobody to tell me I'm gonna see it, because God already told me what I need to know.
Build a website you love with Wix. For your words, create your brand.